The FBI just made a chilling claim. This could be the end of Rick and Marty Lagina's search on Oahu Island. For years, they've dug through endless dirt and chased clues. But now their treasure hunt may come crashing down. A sudden twist like here. This isn't just shocking, it threatens everything they've worked for. What could the FBI know that's enough to stop them in their tracks? Tune in as we uncover what the brothers discovered that made the US government really nervous. What lies beneath? Lot 5. From the beginning of the new season, the Oahu Island crew was feeling optimistic. They managed to uncover artifacts that hinted they were close to solving the age-old riddle of the money pit. Things were looking good, excitement was in the air, and there was a sense of purpose in every shovel they dug. But now, with whispers of legal issues and FBI agents prowling, it's clear something's gone terribly wrong. It's like every twist and turn leads to more obstacles, almost as if Samionia doesn't want this treasure to ever be found. Before we delve into this, it's clear that the FBI's involvement unveils a reality far darker than anyone could have predicted, and this one to be the only twist that will leave you stunned. Rick, Marty, and the rest of the crew have stumbled upon countless clues, iron latches, old coins, earthenware, and even pottery shards that could date back to the 16th century. Each discovery seemed to bring them closer, like here they were peeling back layers of history itself. But here's the kicker, no matter what they find, there's always another barrier. And now, with the FBI potentially involved, could it be that the treasure is actually something much darker? Maybe the history of Oak Island isn't about gold and jewels but something buried for a reason. On Lot 5, Laird Niven and his archaeology crew have been carefully digging up the circular stone depression that's had everyone buzzing for months. They found red earthenware with unusual colors, giving hints that something rare and valuable lies beneath, maybe even older than the infamous money pit. But even as they uncovered pottery and iron latches, a sense of unease started to spread. Why is it that every time they get close to an answer, things get messier? It's almost as if the island itself is keeping things, or maybe, someone doesn't want those things coming to light. The weirdness only grew when they unearthed an iron latch that seemed like it belonged either to a trapdoor or a hidden compartment. The idea that Lot 5 holds some sort of buried structure became more convincing. Could it be that someone deliberately covered up was hiding there? It's unsettling to think that the latch could point to something far more sinister beneath the surface. And just when they thought they had it all figured out, the iron artifacts matched those connected to Sir William Phipps, a name that's no stranger to controversy. Gary Drayton's metal detector didn't disappoint either. The team found a series of ancient coins that made their imaginations run wild. Romano origin, chain-link patterns, hand-hammered designs. They were literally finding coins by the handful, as if Lot 5 was trying to tell them something. But for every coin they found, there were new questions. Why here? Why now? It's like the island is giving them just enough to keep going but never enough to get to the truth. And let's not forget the swamp, that murkier part of Oak Island that has always seemed like it's hiding something. Tony Sampson and his diving team uncovered pieces of timber, pottery, and even a sailor's clay pipe. It's tempting to think that these artifacts are linked to other coins and pottery on Lot 5, like our breadcrumb trail left behind by whoever was here before. But every discovery only seems to deepen the problem. The more they find, the less they seem to know. Could it be that everything they're digging away up is connected to some dark thing that someone wants to stay hidden? The deeper they dug, the stranger things got. They found a large piece of pottery, coarse, Anglo-American ware that might have been a cooking vessel from the late 1700s. But what if it wasn't just for cooking? What if it was a part of some kind of ritual or ceremony? Theories started swirling, and the whole situation felt like it was getting out of their control. It's almost as if Lot 5 isn't just a treasure site, it's a graveyard of things. And now, with the FBI stepping in, you have to wonder what they're really afraid of. Every new find made them feel closer, but it also felt like here the island was telling them to turn back. The dark side of Oak Island's treasure, while Rick and Gary kept their focus on metal detection, finding coins and iron artifacts. It was becoming clear that they might be poking around somewhere they shouldn't be. The circular feature, the swamp, the coins, everything was pointing to something big, something that someone went to greater lengths to bury. The more they found, the more dangerous things seemed to get. Could it be that Oak Island's treasure is less about riches and more about covering up a scandal that's been hidden for centuries? Even the garden shaft seemed to hold more things than they bargained for. When Theo found pieces of timber and a potential tunnel, it looked like they were finally on the right to a track. But every step forward was like stepping into quicksand. The deeper away they went, the more they realized they might be in over their heads. It's no coincidence that, right when they were getting close, the FBI started to sniff around. Is it possible that what's buried in Oak Island isn't just treasure but something that could change history? The team kept digging, kept finding artifacts that pointed to something extraordinary. The air around Oak Island felt different this time. Instead of hope, there was a sense of dread, like they were getting too close to something they shouldn't be. The pottery, the iron latches, the coins, they all seemed to tell a story that was more about danger than discovery. And now, with law enforcement potentially involved, the question isn't whether they'll find the treasure. It's whether they'll even be allowed to keep looking. The swamp was always an area of suspicion, a place where countless things lay hidden beneath the murky waters. Every time they ventured into the marshy ground, something unusual would turn up. A piece of timber here, a fragment of pottery there, even metal objects that seemed out of place. It was as if the swamp had been deliberately used as a dumping ground, a place to get rid of evidence. And what if that evidence pointed to something that was never supposed to be found? Rick and Marty's team had to wonder if the swamp was more of a cover-up than a natural feature of the landscape. Could the swamp itself be hiding the entrance to something much bigger, a tunnel or a hidden chamber? The possibility was tantalizing but also terrifying. Meanwhile, the findings on Lot 5 kept piling up, each one stranger than the last. The coins, pottery, and latches all hinted at a complex history, one that involved multiple layers of human activity spanning centuries. It wasn't just one group of people who had been on Oak Island. It seemed like wave after wave of settlers, explorers, and treasure hunters had come here, each one leaving their mark. But why did they all come to the same place? Was it because they knew why something we didn't? Or were they all chasing after the same legend, hoping to find something that others had missed? The deeper the team dug, the more it seemed like Oak Island was a magnet for those in search of something unattainably, something that was always just out of reach. The circular stone depression on Lot 5 continued to be a focal point for the crew. Laird and his archaeology team worked tirelessly to expose what lay beneath, but the deeper they went, the more questions arose. The iron latch they discovered looked like it might have once sealed a hidden compartment, maybe even a treasure vault. But as they excavated further, they realized that the latch was connected to something much larger. There were signs of a stone foundation, a structure that had been deliberately built and then buried. Who built it? And why? Was it meant to protect something valuable, or was it designed to keep something dangerous locked away? Theories range from the practical to the paranormal, but one thing was clear, this was no ordinary hole in the ground. Each thing they found seemed to hint at more waiting below, pulling them to keep digging even as things got harder. Tunnels built for a dark purpose. It wasn't just artifacts they were finding, it was the remnants of a story that had been buried for centuries. The pottery pieces, each with their unique glaze and design, told tales of trade and travel, of people who had been here long before the first recorded settlers. The iron latch and other metal artifacts spoke here of engineering and craftsmanship, of someone who had gone to great lengths to create something that would last. But what was the purpose? Was it to hide something, to protect it, or to keep it away from prying eyes? The further they dug, The more it seemed like Oak Island was less about what was buried and more about why it was buried. The sense of unease among the crew was growing. They had come to Oak Island to find treasure, but now it seemed like they were uncovering something much more complicated. The involvement of the FBI only added to their suspicions. What could possibly be so important that federal agents would need to get involved? Was it simply about the treasure, or was there something else, something that had been hidden for so long that it was now considered a threat to national security? It was a chilling thought, but one that couldn't be ignored. If the FBI was interested, then whatever lay beneath Oak Island was more than just a few chests of gold. The garden shaft was another area that seemed to be full of things. The further they explored, the more they realized that the tunnels and shafts crisscrossing beneath Oak Island were more than just a random network of holes. They were part of a plan, a design that had been carefully executed. When they found pieces of timber that looked like they had been used to shore up a tunnel, it became clear that someone had gone to great lengths to ensure that whatever lay beneath the island would stay hidden. But why go to all that trouble unless there was something incredibly valuable or incredibly dangerous down there? The discovery of the tunnel beneath the garden shaft only added to the problem. It looked like it might lead to a hidden chamber, a place where something had been stored away from prying eyes. The timber beams were old, but they were still intact, a testament to the craftsmanship of whoever had built them. Beautiful as they made their way deeper into the shaft, the sense of unease grew stronger. It was almost as if they were being watched, as if someone or something didn't want them to keep going. The involvement of the FBI only heightened that feeling. If there was nothing to hide, then why were they so interested? As they continued to dig, they found more and more artifacts that hinted at a deeper story. The iron's trap, the pottery, the coins, they were all pieces of a problem that was becoming more complicated by the day. Each discovery seemed to raise more questions than answers. Why were there so many different types of artifacts? Why did they all seem to come from different time periods? And why were they all in the same place? The more they found, the more it seemed like Oak Island was a place where people came to hide things they didn't want anyone else to find. The more they uncovered, the more it seemed like the island was trying to tell them something. The artifacts, the tunnels, the hidden chambers, they all pointed to a story that had been buried for centuries. But what was that story? Was it about treasure, or was it about something else entirely? The involvement of the FBI suggested that whatever it was important enough to keep hidden. And if that was the case, then Rick, Marty, and the rest of the crew were in deeper than they had ever imagined. The swamp, the garden shaft, Lot 5, they were all connected, all part of a larger plan that had been put into motion long before anyone had ever heard of Oak Island. The deeper they dug, the more it seemed like they were uncovering something that wasn't meant to be found. The iron latches, the coins, the pottery, they were all clues, pieces of a problem that was more complicated than they had ever imagined. And now, with the FBI involved, it was clear that whatever lay beneath Oak Island was more than just a treasure. As they continued to dig, they found more and more artifacts that hinted at a deeper story. The iron's trap, the pottery, the coins, they were all pieces of a problem that was becoming more complicated by the day. Each discovery seemed to raise more questions than answers. Why were there so many different types of artifacts? Before Rick and Marty became known for Oak Island, their story started in a small town with a close-knit family. How two brothers followed a childhood dream. Rick and Marty Lagina, those familiar faces from the Oak Island hunt, actually started their story in the quiet town of Kingsford, Michigan. Rick, born on January 25, 1952, and Marty, arriving 3 years later on August 26, 1955, grew up in a modest but supportive home. Their parents, Georgia and Ann, nurtured their curiosity and made sure that their kids learned the value of hard work. It was not a rich upbringing by any stretch, but they had what mattered: family, encouragement, and plenty of curiosity to go around. The Lagina household was a bustling one, with Rick and Marty growing up alongside their two sisters, Therese and Marianne. Their parents encouraged exploration, which led to the siblings often getting into adventures of the kind where you come home with scraped knees and big stories. It wasn't about money or fancy opportunities, it was about making the most of what they had, and they sure did. Rick, even from a young age, had a fascination with the strange. Imagine being 11 years old, flipping through a Reader's Digest in 1965, and stumbling on an article about Oak Island and its strange tales. That's what happened to Rick. It hooked him right then and there, and the fascination never really went away. Marty wasn't left out either. Though he was the younger brother, he looked up to Rick and often followed his lead. He admired Rick's passion for adventure, and they ended up doing everything together, from backyard digging to bigger ambitions. They weren't just brothers, they were partners in crime, always eager to explore what lay beyond the next corner. Their childhood wasn't glamorous, but it was rich in the kind of imagination and a determination that shaped who they would become. Their bond was strong, and it led them to work together on many projects, even if their careers went in different directions. Rick wasn't all about the adventure, he was a practical guy too. He went to Kingsford High School and did well, eventually deciding to serve his community by working for the U.S. Postal Service after he graduated in 1970. For years, Rick was the neighborhood's reliable mailman, and he took pride in that. He was steady, dependable, and used his spare time to dig into his interests. Literally, the stories of hidden treasures and things beneath the earth always called to him, and he never let go of that dream. Marty, on the other hand, had his sights set on something different. He was the brainy one, always eager to learn more, and after high school, he headed to Michigan Technological University. In 1977, he graduated with a degree in mechanical engineering. But he didn't stop there. Marty wanted to know more, to do more, and so he kept going, eventually earning a law degree from the University of Michigan in 1982. He worked as an engineering consultant during his studies, showing that he was versatilely able to switch from law to engineering without missing a beat. It was this drive that would later lead him to major successes. While Rick was delivering mail and dreaming of treasure, Marty was busy carving out his own path in the energy sector. He started Atero Energy in 1982. Diving into oil and gas production. He was one of the first to explore extracting natural gas from